Top five.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the countdown where we're ranking the top 5 NBA MVP candidates, and boy, are there plenty of them.
Man, this is a wild race for MVP this year. This is the most up in the air that I remember it being. So our top 5 list could really shift throughout any point of the season. So stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing what y'all got to say as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, however we rank these down, anyone could really put these guys in different levels and different rankings. So it'll be interesting to see what the fans have to say as well. But getting into the PSL rankings, we're starting out with number 5, and this guy has been balling this year, Jayson Tatum, taking his game to the next level. You'll see the rest of these guys on this list. They were probably expected to be here, at least in some form or fashion. But Jayson Tatum really went from an all-star to an MVP level player this season. Coming off the finals loss, he clearly took that personal and went into his bag, improved his game, and came out firing on all cylinders. Him and his teammate Jaylen Brown both having career seasons and both elevating the Boston Celtics into the #1 team in the East.
Yeah, Jayson Tatum has really elevated his game. He's obviously had the tools to be a 30-point per game scorer, but he's truly a unanimous All-NBA selection this season. He's really just hit his 3 balls at a high clip, has really just been able to score from every single point on the floor, similar to somebody with Kevin Durant's type magnitude. So for him to just be a clear 30-point per game scorer this season, I think it's fair that he's earned the right to be number 5 on our list. And our number 4 player on the list is also a 30-point per game type guy, and that's Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has the chance to be one of the most dominating centers we've ever seen. I mean, his footwork, his trust to process, just so many different things that he can do. Hakeem Olajuwon shakes, easy hooks. He can swat you at the rim. Joel Embiid is a really transcendent, once-in-a-lifetime type player. He really has that type of tools in his toolbox, and he's going to troll you and laugh at you and geek at you and play with the crowd. And it's just so hard not to be a fan of Joel Embiid, not only for game reasons, but also how he makes the NBA fun.
Yeah, what do they do in Philly, Brandon?
Trust the process.
They trust the process, and that's exactly what they should have done, because it's clearly working out for them. The way that he has evolved his game into what he is now, into being a 30-plus point per game scorer, being a dominant defensive player down in the post, being able to guard guards on the perimeter, and just doing everything you can ask a big man to do. He's a willing passer. Him and James Harden have one of the best, if not the best, pick-and-roll dominant duos in the league. And he's just really unstoppable. Like, if you want to stop him, you better bring over a second defender, because one guy ain't going to do it. And what he's been able to do this year, helping Philadelphia be one of the better teams in the league and just being a dominant force on both ends of the floor, is clearly why he's one of the top NBA MVP candidates right now.
100%. Has to be one of the most frustrating players to guard in the NBA.
No doubt, no doubt. And that can also be said for our number 3 guy on the list, another dominant center, maybe the best passing big man of all time, Nikola Jokic. The Joker in the Mile High City has been the MVP the last 2 seasons, and maybe voter fatigue might hurt him here trying to get a third one, not to mention the abundance of competition. But he's averaging damn near a triple-double and just doing it every night in every facet on the offensive end, really, like scoring the basketball, hitting the post fadeaways, getting other guys involved, rebounding, pushing the break, and just really helping be the catalyst for that offense and helping be the engine of a Denver Nuggets team that's clearly in contention for an NBA title this year.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic might be the only player on this list that might not average 30 this year, but he's probably the most well-rounded player on this list. The combination of scoring, rebounding, and passing is just undeniably ridiculously hard to guard. I mean, the thing about Jokic is, like, he just takes his time every time. He gets the ball on the low block, will turn around, get in his little set. Next thing you know, he flings it no look across the corner, tray ball. He just impacts his team in so many different ways. That's why he continuously finishes in the top 3 of MVP, or even wins the award almost every year at this race. So he unquestionably deserves to be here. And like I said, it's mainly because he affects the game in so many different ways. Obviously, the top 3: passing, rebounding, and scoring.
Exactly, triple threat right there.
Yes, sir. And our next player is definitely a triple threat as well. Only player on this list that you can compare to what Jokic has been able to do on the court. And that's number 2. That's Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, same type of movement, same type of not skill set, but something about, I guess it's more of a foreigner type thing. They just take their time getting in their sets. They're not going to rush. They're not going to speed you up. Yep, they play at their own pace, and that's how they really just dictate the entire game. On top of that, Luka Doncic has the highest usage rate in the league, and that's because his team has to feed him the ball. If they're not giving him the ball throughout the game, there's no chance in hell that the Mavericks will finish in the top 8 of the Western Conference. But Luka, step back tray balls, ridiculous handles, no look passes, and just rebounds, runs the court. He just makes everybody on the court that much better, and that is why he's came in at number 2 on this list.
Yeah, Luka Magic is something special, man. Just the way that he plays basketball. You don't even have to know basketball to watch this guy play and be like, damn, that guy is different than everybody else on the court. Just the way that he's able to orchestrate the offense, and like you said, just hit all these different kind of shots off balance, looking this way, looking that way, looking up, looking down. It doesn't matter. Somehow the ball finds its way in the hoop, and just what he's done performance-wise, putting up historic stat lines, carrying the team, carrying the Mavs pretty much since Christmas to being one of the better teams in the league. And he's doing it, like you said, with the highest usage rate. They're literally on his back, and he clearly has no problem carrying them to where they need to go. And that's why he's been one of the top NBA MVP candidates this year, and that's why he is on this list.
It's easy for him.
It's too easy for him. And getting into the number 1, who it might not be easier for anyone than this guy, we're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak. He's just an absolute dominant force on both ends. Like the way that he can just push his way to the basket, pretty much 2 steps from the 3-point line like it's easy. The Euro step, just able to find ways to put the ball in the basket, pretty much unlike any other player because of how effortlessly it is and because of his inability to shoot the jumper. That's obviously been his biggest flaw throughout his career, is his lack of 3-point shooting, his lack of hitting consistent mid-range shots, his lack of hitting those free throws that have gotten a lot of controversy. But he's still at the top of the scoring list. He's still carrying a Chris Middleton-less team to the top of the East. He's still being able to find ways to impact the game, and it's because of how dominant he is within the 3-point line and the way that he can get to the basket without anyone being able to stop him. It doesn't matter if it's Joel Embiid or anyone else. Giannis is going to find his way to the cup, and he's just been his usual dominant self as always, and clearly a premier NBA MVP candidate.
You've reached a different level of the game when nobody else in the league, there's no other player in the league that people try to get off their game like they do with Giannis. When Giannis is at the free throw line, obviously it takes forever and players complain. They try to get in his head. They try to do all that extra stuff, and that's because he's the unquestioned best player in the NBA right now. Like you said, Rob, he gets a rebound. He takes 3 strides, is down the court dunking on your center's head. He's just so hard to guard, and it's almost impossible because, he's the Greek freak. He's so long, and he takes 1 or 2 steps, and he's by you, and he's already his hands above the rim. He's just I keep using frustrating on players with players on this list because they can't be guarded. They can't be stopped. You can't, as a coach. Yeah, he's literally unstoppable. As a coach, you can set a game plan and think it's perfect, and then Giannis just steps on the court, touches the ball 3 times, and you got to throw that shit out the fucking window. Giannis Antetokounmpo is just a fucking ridiculous player. That's why he's the Greek fucking freak, and that's why he's number 1 on our ranking list.
And what did he do a few years ago? It was a game against LeBron. He put the crown on his head, and he's wearing the crown right now as the best player in the game. And so those are our top 5 NBA MVP candidates right now. Of course, like Brandon said, it could change throughout the season, but through the first half, these are the guys that have put themselves above the competition. And of course, you can have your own opinions too. There's going to be a lot of different opinions for this one, I think, with all the great talent there is in the NBA this year. And of course, this is sponsored by Fan Gear Nation. You can get great jerseys at a great price. You can't beat it. Really trying to help you out. You can get discounts and, be able to rock your favorite player, your favorite team, and show off your pride.
Fan Gear Nation's where it's at, and like we said, man, this is the most wide open the MVP race will probably ever be or has been in the last decade, or maybe even a couple of decades going forward in the future. But either way, top 5 NBA MVPs at this point in the season. We look forward to seeing what y'all have to offer.
And why do you think that is, Brandon? Because I think it's because of all the international talent that's coming into the league. It's not just Americans that the NBA can choose from. Look at our top 3 guys: Serbia, Slovenia,
Slovenia,
and Greece. clearly showing that the foreign market is becoming into the NBA. Even Joel Embiid,
I'm about to say,
also. So
Cameroon,
I mean, literally,
sure.
Jayson Tatum's the only American-born player on this list, and it just goes to show the NBA is an international game now, and especially with who's coming in as the #1 pick next year, talent's only getting better, man.
100%. There's more guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who's breaking out and averaging 30+ this year as well.
From Canada.
So international games changing the game, and soon we'll be changing the game too.
That's right. See your top 5 list soon.
See y'all.